This image, seen by so many around the world, marks a monumental moment in a battle that took thousands of American lives. The raising of that American flag on Iwo Jima, Japan. 5 Marines are in the iconic photo, but many more stood just outside the focus of the lens that day. And that includes a North Texas man who returned to that exact spot recently, and that was the first time back there since that epic, bloody battle back in 1945.
My name is Don Graves. I arrived on Green Beach 1, third wave, on February 19th, 1945 at 8 o'clock in the morning.
With flamethrower in hand, this photo of Don Graves was taken in the first minutes of his arrival in the black sands of Iwo Jima with a 70-pound fuel tank on his back.
2 Marines grabbed me up on my feet. We headed for the beach, which was about 25 feet away, and we hit the sand, tried to bury in, and then all of a sudden the motor started coming.
The Japanese unleashed a ferocious attack. The Marines moved forward inch by bloody inch. Flamethrower Graves helped lead the charge to rout the Japanese from 11 miles of secret and strategic tunnels.
I'd go up there, 2 men, one on my left and right, and I'd pour fire into the hole.
It took 3 days to go just 600 feet. 3 deadly days for the Marines to take the high ground of Mount Suribachi. And in that iconic moment, when those Marines raised the flag, Graves was literally just to one side of the camera lens.
I could have helped raise that flag.
But he says that now infamous celebration was short-lived. Minutes after they planted Old Glory,
you almost thought hell opened up its doors because they were infuriated. We put our flag on Japanese soil.
Don Graves watched good friends die. Many of their bodies never recovered, which is why when the Daughters of World War II offered him the rare chance to return to Iwo Jima, he didn't hesitate. March 10th, Graves left DFW. 3 days later, he was back on Iwo Jima, opened just 1 day a year with a short invitation list by the Japanese government. The battlefield, once barren and dry, now lush and green. And Don Graves stood in that very same spot where his fellow Marines had raised that flag. But it was the beach that called, that sinking black sand, where the majority of the nearly 7,000 Marine lives were lost. An image Don Graves can't get out of his head 68 years later.
I could see where in combat, the beach was loaded with machinery of ours and tracks, half tracks and tanks turned upside down, stuck out of the water. It was a disaster all the way to Suribachi. And I could hear everything. I just stood there and I looked. I could even hear the voices. It all came back. Now, there's something different about this sand. It isn't just volcanic ash. You have to realize how many Marine boots stomped on this sand and were buried under it. And that's something to think about.
Don Graves is living history, a first-person voice in a battle that changed our world. The return to Iwo Jima gave him closure. The war he fought makes him forever proud to be a United States Marine.
We fought a tough battle, one of the worst. And we beat them. And the kind of kids we were is an example for the kids today to learn.
So many guys were just outside the lens that day, and Don Graves was one of them. Wanted to share this with you. Don brought this back, and he was so kind to let me borrow it to share with you guys. This is sand from Iwo Jima, the very same beach that he came up on in 1945, and he grabbed a vial of this on his way out. He brought it home with him, saying that he's going to bring this home and he's going to treasure it forever because of the boots and the memories of the men who were with him, who served, who died on that beach that day and in the ensuing days of the battle.
And how vivid are his memories to this day.
A great storyteller, and that's a first-person account again. These guys are dying at a rapid rate. They're not going to be with us long, and pretty soon it's only going to be in the history books. So it's a treasure to be able to have a guy like Don Graves sit down and share that story with us.
And how special that he got to return to Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. Beautiful story. All right, we are completely shifting gears here and talking about bras. I can't believe I have to go into this tease.
Sorry, Don.
The new debate over what really is best, ladies, coming up. I'll leave it at that.